Okay, today we're going to be talking about one-step equations. So we have this worksheet that we're doing in class, and I'm going to go over some of the problems with you. Remember, the goal of a one-step equation is to get the variable by itself. So in order to get the variable by itself, we have to do the opposite of whatever operation is happening. So if it's an addition problem, we want to subtract. If it's a subtraction problem, we want to add. If it's multiplication, we're going to divide. And if it's a division problem, we're going to multiply. And when we do these different steps, we have to do it on both sides of the equal sign to make sure that our equation stays the same. So let's start with this one right here. I'm going to rewrite the problem because I know it's hard to see. This says 3 plus p equals 8. So this is an addition problem. We want to get the p by itself, so we do the opposite. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So we subtract 3 on both sides to keep it equal. 3 minus 3 is 0. We still have a p, and 8 minus 3 is 5. This 0 doesn't really mean anything because it's 0, so now we have p equals 5, and that's our answer. If we want to check to see if that's right, we just take the 5 and plug it in. So 3 plus 5 is 8. That's correct. And we are good to go. Notice that on this next one, it says negative 15 plus n equals negative 9. You might look at this and say, oh, well, this is an addition problem. But actually, we want to do the opposite of the number. So this is actually a subtract 15 or a minus 15. So the opposite of minus 15 is add 15. So we're going to add 15 on both sides. We know that this is correct because negative 15 plus 15 is 0. We still have our plus n. And negative 9 plus 15 is 6. So now we have n equals 6, and the n is by itself because the 0 doesn't matter. So n equals 6, let's make sure that's right. Negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. So that's correct. Okay, then we're going to move over to a division problem. So right here we have v divided by 8 equals 2. Since this is divide by 8, we want to do the opposite, which is times 8. We multiply by 8. We multiply by 8 on both sides. The reason that this cancels, let me rewrite this, is because when we multiply by 8, that's like multiplying by 8 over 1 if we turn it into a fraction. So this would equal 8v divided by 8, and these 8's cancel out because 8 divided by 8 is 1. So that is why we can times on this side, and then we get v all by itself. So we have v equals 2 times 8 is 16. So remember, we're just doing the opposite to get the variable alone. Okay, and then we have this problem right here is 21 equals negative 7n. When two things are smashed together, like this negative 7 and the n, it means multiply. The opposite of multiply is divide, so we're going to divide by negative 7, which those cancel out. Then we divide by negative 7 here. 21 divided by negative 7 is negative 3. Remember, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. And we have n on this side. And again, you can check those by just plugging in. So up here on this first one, 16 divided by 8 is indeed 2. And 21 is the same as negative 7 times negative 3. That's correct because negative 7 and negative 3 is a positive. Negative times negative is a positive, and 7 times 3 is 21.